Okay, next we're going to look at CINAHL, and there's a couple of different ways that we can do EBP searches in CINAHL, and I'll go through each of those. So again, we go back to the Marquette homepage to get to our list of databases. So again, in the gold toolbox, we'll go to Articles and Databases, click on that tab, and then click on this Browse List of Available Article and Database Sources. Click that. And then this will take us to that full list. And again, I know exactly what I'm looking for, so I'm going to do Control F and type in CINAHL. I'll get there. So then if I click CINAHL, it will open the database for me. Again, I have the VPN right now, so it's just taking me right there. It's authenticating me. It may ask you to log in if you don't have the VPN on. So the number one first thing I'm going to say about CINAHL is when you get here, uncheck the suggest subject terms. So the CINAHL has its own set of subject terms that are similar to MESH, that are similar to that medical subject headings, but they're just a little bit different. And so when you run a search and that box is checked, it will then stop you and give you suggestions, and I find it not very helpful sometimes. So I always recommend unclicking that box first. So when we're in CINAHL, there's going to be a couple different places before we even start our search of things that we can select. So we're going to scroll down, and in this search options box, there's going to be a ton of good stuff. So we're going to keep scrolling down, keep scrolling. So right here, we're going to see it's on the left-hand side, it says evidence-based practice, and there's a little checkbox. So I'm going to check that box. So that's one place that I could go. The other thing to look at is that they also have clinical queries just like PubMed. And so what you're going to see when you look through this clinical queries box, so it's over there on the right-hand side, it says clinical queries, and then it says all, and then if you scroll through, it says therapy, high sensitivity, high specificity, best balance. And so then if we keep going through, then it says prognosis, review, qualitative, causation. And so these are very similar kind of categories that PubMed has, and so they're going to operate in the same way. The difference that you're going to see here is that it has that high sensitivity and high specificity. And then there is that lovely best balance. And so those equate to the narrow and broad that is that's in PubMed. And then best balance obviously kind of says it all, where it is the it's just kind of a blend between it. And again, it's just the algorithm that they have in the back. I will say that I have in the slides that came with the videos, there's links to more information if you're curious about these kind of search strategies that are happening in the background. So you could click evidence-based practice like here, or you can click a specific kind of clinical query as well. So those are two of the options. The other thing that you can do, and this is similar to, there's also this option for randomized controlled trials. And then similar to how we did some filtering and limits in PubMed is that you can specify what kind of publication type you're interested in. So you could say, I'm really just interested in, if I keep scrolling through, I'm interested in a clinical trial. And then if you press, I believe, Shift, and you keep scrolling down, and we see, keep going, meta-analysis. If I click that, it's going to click all of the ones in between. So what I want to click is actually Control, I believe. So we'll click, keep going. So we'll click clinical trial, press Control, and then we will go back to that meta-analysis. Click that. So now it's going to search for clinical trials and meta-analysis, and then anything else that I choose to click as well. So that's another way that you can filter or you can search by a specific kind of publication type. So then if we keep scrolling down, you're going to see this box here that says special interest. And so in this special interest box, if we scroll down, you're going to see evidence-based practice. So I tried these out to kind of see what are the differences that you get with these various options, because I recommend using one, not all of them necessarily together. So what the evidence-based practice button and the clinical queries are going to return very similar options. The evidence-based practice under special interest is going to bring back the exact same things that is in this checkbox here that just says evidence-based practice. So essentially they're just giving you two different potential ways to click that. So I'm going to actually unclick that, and I'm going to reset everything, and I'm only going to select the clinical queries. And so I'm looking for therapy high sensitivity. Actually, let's choose the best balance. So I'm going to look at therapy best balance, and I'm going to look at that same search. And again, I have to uncheck that suggest subject terms, unclick that, looking at my terms, multiple sclerosis and gait analysis, and then do search. And so now it's going to show me that there is 100 articles that I could look at related to multiple sclerosis, gait analysis, using this limiter of clinical query. So this is the best balance. Let's say I want to change that. So if I press edit, it will take me back to this edit kind of page. I don't have to go click back. If I click edit, it's going to open this for me to change that. So let's say, no, I'm really just kind of interested. Let's do the high specificity and see what that does to our search results. So then if we do save, it's going to redo the search for us. And now we're getting 21 results. And then let's say we wanted to look at the other option. So we want to look at high sensitivity. So we'll click that and then press save. And so now we're getting 209 results. So again, like when we had the best balance, it was kind of in between. With the high specificity, that acts like the narrow option in PubMed, where they're bringing you back very relevant articles, but there's going to be less of them. Whereas this high sensitivity, essentially what that means is that it's a broader pool and they have a wider net that they're looking at. And so that high sensitivity just means that it essentially they're looking at more and allowing more into the search pool. So you just kind of have to figure out what's a good balance for you when you're looking for articles. Okay, so that's what it looks like when we are using the clinical query search. So let's say I want to see what it looks like if I use that EBP search instead. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll up just a little bit and we're going to click on this advanced search. So if we click on that, it's going to take us again to that search page that we had at the beginning where we had these search options. First thing we're going to do is uncheck those suggest subject terms. I'm going to paste my my topic into that first line there. I'm going to scroll down and then I'm going to click on this evidence-based practice box right here and then scroll back up, or actually I have to scroll down to search. And so when we do this, we see, okay, when we did this clinical queries, we were getting 209 results. So when we use this evidence-based practice, we're getting 31. So sometimes you might have to run the search twice, see what's showing up in clinical queries, see what's showing up under that EBP. But both are probably going to lead you to good articles for your research.